Your background.
Okay, my name is Cesar Lopez. Like I said, I live in Guatemala, right below Mexico. And my background is I'm a mechanical engineer. I worked at maintenance, production, and quality systems over, let me see, from 98 to over 10 years. And then I began broadening my options and I got an MBA with financial specialization. But at the same time, I was, like I mentioned in my video, I found certain information that made me question a lot the way humans live. So even though I went in the direction of corporates and more business and all the things, my mentality was already changed before I got. So I was more into doing my own stuff. So after I got my MBA, I worked for two multinational companies, but I quickly stopped that and got into consulting as a freelancer. And then I've always loved, all the digital stuff. So during almost 6 years, I was studying by myself, HTML, CSS, and how to use the Adobe suite like Flash and After Effects and those programs. So uh, about 2 years ago, I decided to give it a try in web design, which I love, and uh, that's what I've been doing up until now. But I've always been trying to find a way to make a change in the way we live, because we're consuming too much resources, and that's what interested me a lot from the global village, because it seems that you guys have the right mentality, the right vision, although that's always evolving. I mean, it's never like set, but I like the post scarcity vision you guys have. So when I saw that there were job openings, I was like, that's very interesting. I mean, that's very cool. And of course, that's why I just jumped at the opportunity. That's where we're talking right now.
Okay, what position are you applying for?
I am applying for the learning director because of all the six that were open. I think that's the one I would need less like timing adapting, the one I like most. Although the communications director also interested me because I like to write and read a lot and also talk a lot and write about things that are on my mind. But the one that interested me the most was the learning director.
Okay, have you seen the basic terms for each job?
I saw the terms. I saw that you're looking more for lifestyle investors that are not so much interested in having a job or a salary, but more like developing the community and making it successful. Making it a new kind of community. So with that, I'm okay. I mean, in the end, what you want is to live a life with dignity. Where you have your basic needs met, housing, um, food, interesting things to do, and interesting people to hang out with. And then the requirements for skills, I believe I meet them all. I have to say that I have to brush up on my skills in the Linux suites because I used a couple of them, but that was about 2 years ago, and it was more like a personal stuff than really my job. So, but I know how to do nonlinear editing. So, oh, and the one thing that I forgot to put in my resume and my video was one of the requirements was for the learning director is experience in creating job descriptions, and I did that. So I wanted to assure you that that I have done that during my 10 years when I was, managing mechanics and electricians and warehouse people. So that was one of my uh, my tasks, to create job descriptions.
Okay, have you ever developed curriculum before?
Yeah, like I said, I mean, we started qualifying for the ISO guidelines about in I think in 2000, but in 2000 the 2001 version wasn't ready yet, so we were qualifying for the 94 version. And then when we renewed it a few years after for the 2001 version, I think it was, one of the things that was needed, uh, it was not required, but one of the things our company had in mind was to create better job descriptions, and we use something called competences, which I think the best translation would be skills. So what we did was interview every one of us and make a real inventory of what people truly did, because there were job descriptions. Because I mean, every company, which is basically set, has job descriptions more or less, but we try to optimize them, and we really try to do a very good inventory, and try to, and not try, but well, we asked people to really, it was a process of about a month. It was not just like something that you got together for a half an hour. I mean, it was a process for a month or a month and a half, where you chose, key people from different areas. Like I said, two electricians or two or three mechanics, and in each area, because there were preventive maintenance, there were some that were specialized in certain production machines, and you interviewed them, then asked them to, in certain times dedicated to that, that they wrote what they did, at least what they thought they did all the time. And then we got together with all the group, and you created the skill set, and then you created the job description that were finally published in the company.
So I wonder if we're understanding the meaning of that word differently. Like when I think of curriculum, what I mean to say is a program for training somebody within a skill set. Is that what you mean to say?
Ah, okay. That's not what I meant, but we also did that because when you have quality systems, you also need to develop a training scenario for not just the skills required that you have to have at the beginning, but what you're going to grow in that case, the employee in. And we did that. We did, for example, a 5-year plan, which was divided in semesters. And now that you mention it, we did that, and we tried to put there certain courses that would be external, from technical institutes here, and some that you would give because you were, like the person in charge of them, so you were supposed to know certain things in certain areas of mechanical engineering to teach your people. Or sometimes it wasn't not so much about theory, but more, I mean, that was the one I enjoyed the most, and that's why I think I fit good with this job, not job position, but with this position, was that we did, for example, quick trainings, which are similar to what I think you are heading for. Uh, there's a kind of popular way of doing maintenance in enterprises that's called total productive maintenance, where you don't have that fixed distinction between mechanics and production people, but you train certain teams to be self-sufficient and to be able to do a lot of maintenance and also operate the machines. In today's world, that's not used that much anymore because it's automated, and so, but I mean, in many uh, firms, that's used a lot, and it's shown to be very successful. So we did that. We did that with people, uh, to for them to learn to clean the machine, lubricate it,
Okay.
even change certain parts. So yeah.
How did you find out about OSE?
I found out about OSC in TED, and I was very interested in that when I saw the TED talk from Martin. And then I saw it again on this film called Owned and Operated by Kraken Films. And when I saw it the second time, I was reminded, and that was when I began following it a little bit closer. And one of the times I went to the site to see how you were doing, what you were up to. I saw the opening position, so I
Why do you personally care about the mission of OSE?
because the first thing is, like I said, I'm a change in mentality that came upon me due to reading some books, like I said, some books on healthy psychology, which have a lot of information that's very easy to understand and very simple, but I see that people really don't know about that, even though they are very wealthy or very well educated in the sense that they went to universities and had PhDs. And the second thing is that, um, like I said, due to that, to coming in contact with that information, I began seeking, personal change. And some people call it self-improvement, but I see it more as unlearning things that are false, because humans usually have since they are born, at least in my opinion, or from what I have learned, don't have a lot of problems that they develop due to living in certain type of societies, and the paradigms that the societies unconsciously put upon humans. So I began reading a lot of things, and in the end, I came upon movies like the Zeitgeist movies, which resonated with me a lot, because not because like some fan of a Star Wars movie that you like them and then that's why you like the movies. No, I mean precisely because I had studied economics and finance and things like that, and because I already had a mind that, I don't call it open, but at least it's more receptive to certain truths, that doesn't like close itself when
Yeah,
you
yeah.
say something that
Okay.
doesn't go that well with what you thought. I was like, I mean, they are right. I mean, the capital system has flaws in it. I mean, it's not anybody's fault, but it has flaws, and there are certain people who take advantage of that. But mostly, it's just because the system is like that, and nobody has tried to do something different. So that's
Right.
why, and that's the reason why I follow certain things,
Okay.
like the Saigon movies and your movement, because I've since then I've been trying to be more self-reliant. But the thing is that I'm not saying that you can do anything alone, because I mean Martian did, and he found one by one he began to find you guys, and you're doing okay. And but it's, I mean, human beings are made for working together. Not, I mean, I admire and I respect people, like for example like Martian, who start things. But the thing is that I believe that the world doesn't need, these superhero leaders. I mean, what the world needs is that everybody just wakes up and does their part. So that's why I feel it's better
All right.
to have a group
Okay.
that thinks alike.
I'm running out of time.
Okay.
I gotta keep them on 15 minutes. So let's
Yeah,
try and
yeah, no,
let's try
15
and
minutes.
jump through a bunch of questions quickly.
Sure.
Um, have would we need to get a work visa for you to come work with us?
Yeah, because my visa is for a tourist only. So if I
What
was going to be working legally there, I had to get an HB1 or something like
an
that.
HB1?
So
Okay. Do you know what that process is?
from what I know is that you have to postulate me. I mean, the corporation or the nonprofit has to postulate you and demonstrate that you have a skill set that's needed, that you can find somewhere, and then I can apply for the job. And but the thing is, I don't know, because I don't know at what time of the year do they expire. And the problem is that they are finite visas. I mean, they are not like unendless. So I can find it. Of course, I can find.
We're trying to
Yeah.
get a sponsorship so that we can get a number of visas issued every year because I mean we have a lot of people coming internationally or who want to come. I was just
Yes,
wondering
yeah, I imagine that,
if you
but I
had
mean, I can find out more if you want. But that's the last thing I read about.
right. All right. We got to figure out how long that would take.
Yeah,
Our
'cause
goal
it's
is to
not
have the
like
team recruited on August 1st. Um, okay. Are you already a remote collaborator? Do you contribute to the wiki?
I haven't yet, apart from putting up my resume, but I mean, I could begin working on some things. I don't know where you would like to particularly if you're interested in me in the learning director position, where I could begin to contribute a little bit week by week to for you. I mean, that would be a good thing for you to see my work and see if we're a good fit. And
Do you have interest in working with other groups in Latin America or South
I
America?
would rather work in other countries, but yeah, I mean, I would have no problem, trying to contact other people.
Well, I mean, there's already groups that are starting to rise up. Like in Argentina, we recently have a community that's emerging, and Guatemala. That's where you're from, Guatemala, right?
Yeah.
There's a community. There's two communities that are going to be established in Guatemala. Um, I'm just throwing that out there as something to get started on, like networking with that effort, and then we can look at the visa issue and how long that will take to get more
Hmm.
involved. And then if you okay, so why don't you look into the visa thing, see how long that will take and what the process is for you personally, um,
Hmm.
and then if you're interested, plan on continuing to be involved with the wiki, and let's see. Once you give me that visa info, I'll take it to the team and see what we can do. Because our goal is to have everybody by August 1st. So if it's going to take longer to get a visa, we're going to have to rethink the relationship.
Right. No, I understand because that's the thing. And that's why I put in the email because I imagine that you were already trying to get some visas because some people would come from other countries.
Absolutely, yeah. We just have there's too much work to do. It's not done yet.
Yeah, I
We
know.
have to get it going.
You're beginning from scratch, so. But I mean, I congratulate you on your efforts. I will look into the visa. Not to be pessimistic or anything, but I don't think that would be for the 1st of August. So I'll still look into it and send you an email with the info I gather, and I'll try to contribute on the wiki on whenever I can, and I'll try to also network with the other communities.
Okay, so if you want their contact info, send me an email and I'll send that to you.
Thanks. Yeah, okay.
Okay, thanks, Cesar.
Great. Thank you. Have a good one.
You too.